Hi, my name is Florencia, and I work in Banco Col's corporate communications team. My boss Hilario will be joining us in just a few minutes, but maybe you can tell me a little bit about your fund.
Perfect. Let's start there. Well, my name is William, and this is Charles. We work for Blossom, which is a fund based out of London and has around $7 billion of assets under management. We manage the Emerging Markets Fund, and most of our investments are concentrated in Brazil for the moment.
Really? Have you not found any investment opportunities in Mexico?
We just started covering some companies, so we'll see.
Hi, sorry to be late. I'm Hilario, but please continue.
That's fine. We're just doing introductions.
Okay, great. How would you like to proceed with this meeting? Are you familiar with Banco Col?
No, we're new to the story, so maybe we can follow the presentation and we'll interrupt with questions as we move on.
Perfect, that works. Well, I like to start by underlining that Banco Col is a leading banking franchise and the most profitable bank you will find in Mexico. As this slide shows, we're not focused on being the largest bank in terms of assets and branches or even deposits. In this business, we normally rank in third or even fourth place in the industry.
I believe I've read that 75% of your income comes from your retail banking business. Can you explain how you manage this business and how you reach such high levels of profitability?
Sure. First of all, we classified our customer base into 5 segments to better understand their needs. We have focused mainly on servicing high-income individuals, which includes our private banking clients or consents and our wannabes. Due to the profitability of these clients, we launched a project to provide differentiated services to these.
Interesting. And how many clients are we talking about? Or in other words, what's the size of the market?
The 3 client segments with the highest income represent around 5% of our customer base.
I'm assuming the answer is yes, but does it really make economic sense to deploy such an important commercial effort to serve only 5% of your customer base?
Exactly. The answer is yes. We have learned that in general, high-income individuals in Mexico like to be treated differently and will pay for this to actually happen. We have adapted this model to banks. These special branches have iPads for the customers to use, they have TVs, coffee, refreshments, and most importantly, the service is almost personalized.
Okay, so in terms of numbers, you have roughly 10 million customers. That would mean that 5% of your customer base is 500,000, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Wow, that's very low. If you're investing this amount of money and effort serving these clients and they represent so little, does it make sense to assume that this segment has significant growth potential? And let me ask you also, what level of income do these segments have?
We don't believe the growth will come from these segments. However, we invest in them for 2 reasons. First, they represent over 80% of our deposits, and second, they generate important income in terms of commissions.
Just to confirm, so 5% of your customer base contributes with over 80% of your deposits, and you don't expect this to change in the near or far future?
Yes, we don't expect this to change significantly.
So these segments look profitable and stable, but then where do you expect growth to come from?
Well, if you look at this slide, you will see we have another segment called La Raza, which we classified as mid-income. This segment of the population earns between 5,000 and 35,000 pesos per month and represents approximately 22% of our customer base.
Okay, and if I understand correctly, this is where you expect growth to come from, right? So could you explain how?
Well, first of all, the Coneval, which is the national board that measures the impact of social development policies, just published its reports with the results of 2012. They were happy to report that poverty in Mexico has decreased from 46.1% of population in 2010 to 45.5% of the population in 2012. Additionally, we have favorable demographics. For example, the population relevant to us in terms of growth, which is people between 25 and 60 years old, will increase by roughly 9 million from 2010 to 2020, and hopefully, this segment will eventually need credit to buy a car or their first home. I can assure you we are all well positioned to take advantage of this potential growth whenever it shall occur.
Bueno, vale la pena aclarar que la línea de bienestar económico a agosto 2012, con el que se calcularon los números del Coneval, está a 2.329 pesos en zonas urbanas y 1.490 pesos en zonas rurales, que by the way se llama infelizaje, y están aún más por debajo de la raza de la que hablaba Hilario. Este infelizaje es más o menos el 74% de tu base de clientes. Y ya en serio, ¿quién vive con poco más de 2,000 pesos al mes? Ni aunque les duplicaran el sueldo mañana semana dejarían de ser pobres. ¿Qué clase de crédito le puedes dar a alguien en estas condiciones? Además, las cifras del IMSS indican que de 2002 a 2012 se crearon en promedio 350,000 empleos por año. Para absorber a 9 millones de empleados en 10 años, tendríamos que estar creando cerca de 1 millón de empleos al año. Y ya mejor ni hablar de sueldos. Y esto es a lo que se refiere Hilario con Favorable Demographics, pues serán Favorable Demographics para la informalidad.
Okay, so the drivers for growth are people moving up in the social pyramid, supported by less poverty reported by Carnival, and the demographic bonus, correct?
Exactly.
Y sin embargo, en vez de que nos movamos up the social pyramid, parece que cada generación nos movemos un poco más para abajo. Y los que podemos, en vez de financiarnos una buena educación...
And what exactly are these people using their credit for?
Mainly for consumption. We expect credit cards and consumer loans to grow at a rate of 20% annually during the next 3 years.